Ooh, more ruins. So I definitely want to make a coastal expansion for my next city, because having a base to launch fleets is really good. And it looks like we can just fit one in along the river somewhere around here. I don't see any luxury resources, though. Normally you want to have those. But if I place it here, they can reach the wheat, the cows, the fish, and a bunch of floodplains, so it'll be able to grow pretty big, which is going to be a problem since we have no luxury resources near it to counterbalance the happiness loss. I'll just have to build another city someplace where there are luxuries. Like, there's some copper here. There's actually not a lot of luxury resources around here. I mean, there's incense in my capital, 2 incense, as well as marble. Copper over there. Yeah. Well, despite the lack of luxuries, I still think this is a pretty good place for a second city, since it has coastal access and it's on a river. Although, ironically, it's not at the mouth of the river, because the river runs parallel to the coast for a little while, and is close enough for it to fit there. Which is interesting. Oh, actually, you know what? There is marble there, and yeah, we'd be able to reach it from there eventually. Jungles, too, which are nice once you can start getting the science boost out of them. So, Civilization V is a 4X strategy game. Basically, you start a civilization at the dawn of time. It started at 4000 BC. The games always start there, unless you have them specifically start at a different date. I'm going to go with citizenship for the free worker, because it's just really good. Free worker. And basically, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to build a Serbian empire. And we're going to try as hard as we can not to be conquered by the Austrians. Because that's what happened during the war. Well, they weren't conquered, per se. They were attacked, and after 4 long years of fighting, the Austrian side lost miserably, and their empire was broken up into... How many independent countries was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then... And somebody has a pantheon already.
He who destroys a good book kills reason.
Okay, so we have
itself.
writing, and so we're going to immediately start working on the Great Library. Let's see. Production focus is exactly the same. Exactly the same. So, you know what, just keep it as it is. Could probably squeeze 1 extra production out of this by moving this guy to one of these forest tiles, but that would stunt growth too much. And whenever I play Civ 5, I always kind of have a problem with growth because I'm not very good at maintaining growth. I oftentimes have a lot of somewhat small cities, and I like having a lot of cities, but I also want them to be big. What should we tech into next? Let's see, what do we have around here that should be improved? Oh, incense, of course. Calendar, so we can build a plantation. And start getting that incense for a happiness boost. That's one of the things civilization does, is you've got an overall happiness for your empire. Okay. World's most well-fed people. I'm number 5 right now. There are a bunch of people who are at 0, which probably means that they're all building settlers. Suckers. I'm going to get my next settler for free, while I'm building a wonder. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I tech into Liberty right off the bat, is because I pretty much... What the hell? Annoying. I pretty much always beeline for the Great Library, which means I miss out on building free workers and a second settler, which is why it's really nice to get all of that for free. And I will be getting... Don't you dare raise my farm, I just had that thing built. I will be getting this policy in 10 turns, which improves production for a city, so that should speed this along. I always get really worried when I build a wonder that it's going to be taken. This early in the game, it's unlikely that anyone is putting this much focus into that one wonder as I am, so I usually wind up getting it, but it always scares me when I do. Because one of the things you have to realize about... Oh, more pantheons. Okay, so just a minute. Oh no, it's this guy down here who got an upgrade. So, shock or drill? Now, this is the promotion screen. You can choose promotions which improve your troops' combat abilities. First tier usually gives you improve against enemies in a certain domain. With land melee units, you either have rough terrain, which is either on a hills or a forested area, which could be a forest or a jungle. Or you could do flat terrain, which is just without forests, jungles, or hills. And usually, rough terrain is better, but look at where Belgrade is. I'm going to build more than one city along this fertile river valley, perhaps even more than 2. There's a lot of empty space here, so I'm gonna go with shock for now. because that's where most of my empire is going to be. Flatlands. Okay. And you attack them, get minus 20 for going over a river. But we overpower them anyways. So, lots of civilizations are founding pantheons. I think I waited too long to get that shrine. I don't know if any of the ones I'm playing with get bonus to early game religion production, which is something the Celtic civilization gets, although I'm not playing with them. Attack him with my warrior so I can get some XP. I don't get that for attacking with the city. Okay, you should probably heal before attacking that. Another pantheon founded. Okay. So I'm gonna go with shock again, although I should probably start getting drill for a few. You can get things built a turn early by doing that. Which can sometimes come in handy. Most of the time it's not necessary. Okay. And yeah. No more build options until I get my next research. Take a step out here, see what we got around there. Oh. Looks like there's tundra just north of our vision line, which means we're probably on the far north of the continent. I wonder how far south it reaches. Yeah, let's just keep going. I guess that's just what I get for waiting to attack them. Another regiment to deal with. Or brigade. I don't know, what would you call this? A unit? I mean, that's what the game calls them, but in military terms, a unit is kind of smaller than what's implied by this health bar here. 100 hit points. What I always assumed that meant was 100 men who could die. But then if you take a look in the demographics screen, take a look at the amount of soldiers in there, and I've got 15,492 soldiers in my army, 2 warrior regiments, one of them slightly damaged. So my army must be pretty big, so regiments, brigades, I'm not really sure. Okay. This is actually also a pretty good spot for a city. There's wait. That would probably be a good place for a city. Let me take a look at the hex grid. Yeah. Could reach the copper. This is a good place to put a city. I might actually make this location for my second city, rather than that. Yeah, this definitely looks like a better spot. It's closer to America, who by the looks of it already have their second city. Oh, and there's Greece. Let's get that production boost, and in 27 turns we'll have a free settler. Let's see if they're dumb enough to ram into me again. I have to send someone over there to greet the Greeks. So yeah, I think this will be the second city. I wonder what city it'll be.